Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Angels Speak. I'm Teri Angel, here to bring you another message from our wonderful guides, our angels that come every day and give us some guidance and help us to understand this thing called life just a little bit better. And boy, do we ever need them, don't we? These are trying times that we are in. And I'm so happy that I'm able to just sit and listen to them. And, if we heed what they say, if we just pay attention and get the message as it comes in, wow, life would be so much easier. And as much as we try sometimes, we put up blocks and we have these things that our thoughts that go through our head that keep us from totally listening, totally adhering to what their guidance is for us. But I just love this message. Come fly with me. And welcome, Andrea Gregg and Deirdre. Oh, Deirdre, thank you for sharing this, honey. And there's our blue jean coming right into the Zoom room with me. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Anyone else that wants to fly in here? Come on in. There's plenty of room. So let me just give her a minute to get in and get settled. And hello, Blue. No, I don't think she's connected to the audio yet. But let me go ahead and pull up the blog. Every day I come on at 4:44 and I read the blog and see if there's anything you want to say about it, anything that you want to respond or ask. It's just a beautiful time together to give you an opportunity to let it sink in and see what it has to say to you personally. So here we go. It's called Come Fly With Me. Accept yourself, love yourself, and keep moving forward. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. Roy T. Bennett. My first ever pair of hiking boots surprised me as I walked around the store in them. Why are they so heavy and stiff? Was my first thought. It's hard enough to climb uphill, so won't this make it even worse? Yet, as I walked a trail in Sedona, I was very grateful for those boots. I didn't notice the heaviness, only the support. When we need to be moving around on the Earth's terrain, sometimes it can be hard to move easily without something to help us balance. I thought about how this applies to our spiritual journey as well. Sometimes we encounter some very rough terrain as we maneuver through our experiences. If we slip on our uphill climb, the landing may be very unpleasant. The best thing we can do is put on armor, and that is never lightweight. Dear angels, it can be confusing to try to understand the guidance about putting on the armor of God and how to keep our feet fitted with readiness for the task. Can you help us understand? Dear ones, when your human body needs protection from the elements, you wrap it in heavier layers. When it needs to walk on uneven surfaces, you put on the correct foot gear to meet the task. Putting on your spiritual armor is really no different in intent. The idea is to be prepared to stand your ground without wavering and progress forward safely and confidently. You wouldn't try to climb a mountain wearing sandals. Your spiritual foot gear is just as important as your physical attire. The difference is that while the physical is heavy and bulky and at times stiff, your spiritual armor is light because the mountains you climb are not made of rock and sediment. Instead, they are rough terrain built from the beliefs, words, and thoughts that you carry at all times. Start with the beginner trail. Ask yourself, If you can find one thing to shed, just as you might take off the outer layer garment in the physical, what can you leave behind on your spiritual journey? Is there a belief that feels heavy when you think about it? Are there demeaning words that you speak about yourself? This is the starting point, dear ones. You should not try the advanced trails before you learn more about what is necessary to put on and what you need to take off. Once you understand the task and become more comfortable with maneuvering the easy trail, you will find yourself soaring on down the path. Dear angels, thank you. I love you. And today I promise to suit up and show up in my armor. Blue Jean, I am so glad that you are on here with me because, you know, as that message came through, I really did think about you afterward. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is a girl who can't stand to have shoes on her feet and who usually tears all of those heavy layers off, even if it's cold outside. So I would just love to hear your response to this message from the angels.
I think it's hilarious.
I thought you would.
Well, you know, it's kind of like the old adage, there's two sides to every coin, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. So, like my little friends say, you just fly over that. What are they talking about? Yeah. And then my Blu-ray being says, you know all about that armor thing. And being in that, putting on that armor and standing tall and with your back, you know, with your back against the gates, and not letting anyone pass who is not supposed to. So, and it's kind of always, for me, that kind of thing always comes back to Michael, as the fairies giggle over my head, because he's so, people think of his armor and they think of his sword and they think of his strength. And I think those are the people that really don't know about that well. And I just think about how I call him Big Mike and how he looks at me and that like, oh my God, it's you. And how he always laughs at me and how he's so gentle and loving. And even to his foes, that there's such compassion there. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, there's two sides to every coin and the truth is somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. So I think that is the faith that you need to have, which is your armor that gives you your support to go forth. Whether or not I'm with my little friends who are being very bratty right now, or with this big guy standing in the corner laughing at me hysterically, wearing his armor and his sword at his hip. So that's pretty darn funny, Teri. No wonder you thought of me.
I did. I thought of you immediately when they started bringing in the message of the shoes. And I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, I can just see Blue now climbing that mountain in her bare feet.
I can't wear shoes.
Yeah. Well, we have people who've joined in. Annie Seven is here. Hi, darling. Linda Lemieux. And my prince, Fleet Easton. Thank you for being here. Auntie Jean Loriot. And Linda says, we are carrying baggage we don't need anymore. Put down the baggage and you'll get a spring in your step. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all that baggage that feels so heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a matter of, we were just discussing the other night, Brookie had a friend over and we were just discussing about how letting things go, it sounds so simple once you've done it, but I just let it go. But to get to that point of after carrying it for so long, and how hard it actually is to do. So Teri, you know, I have this like little weird phobia thing that I cannot stand stuff being under the beds. I'm not good that way. I can't possibly imagine being in a hoarding position, because that's for that to be on all planes of reality and manifest here. It would just be, it would just suffocate me. Whereas my husband, who's the builder, has all the accoutrements, you know, all the tools and all of this and all of that. And I'm more than happy to like only have 2 pairs of shoes and leave one outside somewhere and lose them. And, you know, it's just, that's so true, is just to accept and let it go. But you still need to have your boots on to be able to stand.
Mm-hmm.
So you still need to have that strength of self, and that comes from your self-love and the
Yeah.
love of those around you. So not
Right.
acceptance of self.
And our energetic boots are the protection against whatever's rough, whatever we're stepping on that's in our way, right? That's not going to move out of the way. So we have to either step over it or on it. So yeah, there's a lot to this, a lot to unpack in this message. And I loved how they use so many metaphors for our spiritual journey, you know, climbing that mountain. And it's made of all of that baggage that we try to carry with us everywhere we go, and it just weighs us down.
And
Kathleen just joined. I'm sorry.
You know, the funny thing is, no, it's me, I'm interrupting. It's not just our baggage. A lot of people inherit things from other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I inherited things, and I really, you know, there's certain things that you know, I have to keep because they're,
Yeah.
you know, there's no place for them to go right now. But I'm getting better about even letting those go. But that's, even if you think about that, those things that we inherit are not necessarily just in the physical. They're the karmic of our ancestry that, you know, we've resolved in this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's, the symbolism just in this little message just keeps going on and on.
Yeah, it really does. It, you know, the more we look at it and pick at it, it just really gets deep. And I just appreciate this conversation that we're having, Blue. I'm so glad that you jumped in here. Kathleen joined us, Mama Hada Bear.
Aww.
Said she missed part of it and she'll listen to it all later. And yes, let go of the baggage and be free. You know, it's pretty hard to climb uphill when you're carrying weight in your backpack or whatever it is that you're carrying along with you. So yeah, so that's what they're saying is, you know, what do we need to shed? Just like we would shed something physically to make an uphill climb. Maybe it's a heavy jacket, maybe it's, you know, whatever we've got that we brought along with us. You know, sometimes I find it hard to go up one of those trails if there's an incline, if I'm carrying like a water bottle even. So it's like, well, I have to have the water. So finding what it will fit into, I think is another, outfitting yourself with what's going to be the most helpful for you. And that's our spiritual journey too. Outfitting ourselves with whatever it is that we know the tools, and have our tool bag with us so that it doesn't become cumbersome and heavy, but it will hold all those tools that we're finding along the way, all those little gems.
I love this message, because no matter where you are on your path and how simple and complex a person you are, it always boils down to the simplest resolution to the problem of putting something down or letting it go. But wherever you are in your path, it seems that if you're at the beginning of your path, the middle of the path, at the end of the path, this message supports every step you take on the path. You can go as high or as deep as you want. I love this little message.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it came through last night, and it was a little short, and I'm going, oh my gosh, but how powerful is it? Sometimes it's not a matter of how long the message is, but sometimes they cut right to the chase, and they're giving it to you like, boom, here you go. And we need to read it several times, I think, to really understand fully the impact of what this is saying to us all. And even if you've never put on a pair of hiking boots, even if you've never walked a walking trail or gone up an incline, I think you can really understand what they're saying about that uphill climb that we face sometimes in our lives when we're feeling like we're at the bottom of the barrel and we have to get to the top somehow. And what's the way to get there, the easiest way to get there? And what do we need? And I think the one thing that we all need is that support, being there for each other, encouraging each other, telling each other, you got this, you can do this. And I've been on some of those inclines, as I've walked along over the last couple of years and gone up some of those hills. And it's really good to have that encouragement saying, you can do this, take your time, just watch your step safely. And it's that way with our life, step safely. You don't want to step on one of those things that's going to take you tumbling back down the hill. And that's being diligent, being aware, being self-aware of what you're doing and where you're placing your feet and where you're placing your words, because the words create things.
Hi, honey, I'm talking to Teri.
Hi, Dave.
So, yeah, and what's interesting about the placement of words and the way that it reads and speaks, and you speak it, and I can hear Kathleen going, oh, I have to think about that, is the written word rebounds and resounds and expands within your vibration. Mm-hmm. And it can raise you to a different point, obviously up. And then when you read it again, if you read it out loud or when you say a mantra out loud, it will again raise your vibration. It'll put you in a different place. Now, you know what it's like. We all get to a little bit higher vibration, and then we get there and then we come back down to earth, because it's it's always hard to manifest and stay in those places. Yeah. It takes a lot of climbing up to do so.
And we have to live in this 3D world, so we can't always have our head in the clouds, as they say. Well, we can try, but we might not see what's in front of us. There might be a Mack truck coming down the road. Yes. So we have to live in the 3D, and we have to each day do those things for survival that we know we have to do. But we can maneuver through all of that with more ease and grace if we are girded with those things that we've been given, the gifts we've been given, the teachings, the wisdom that comes forth for us. That's all going to just help us to make it through each and every moment of this life that we're living. So it's huge, this message today. It's sometimes they say that great things come in small packages. And I think this small package of this message today is packing a powerful punch.
Which is funny. I wasn't going to come on the live, but it was the only way I could connect and get to listen to the message. It was like, okay. Okay, you guys. I guess I'm supposed to.
You were supposed to be here, and I certainly appreciate all of your input, and just look forward every time we hold a conversation, because it's always so beautiful and so deep. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I wish there was more people on. So
that's okay. It's out there. So whoever wants to pull it up and listen to it, whether you find it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever it might be, you can just pull it up and listen to it at any time. And on Angel Speakers on YouTube, all of the recordings are there for you in a playlist called Angels Speak. I had to think what I'm doing. Angels Speak. Yeah, it's right there, right?
I've got Angels Speak.
Yeah, the angels do speak. And the angels are going to speak even more this coming Wednesday. We have an angel circle coming up at 6:30, I believe, or 7. I'll have to double check that. I'll let you know tomorrow the exact time. But you can sign up on angelspeakers.com and be there on the Zoom call and get your very own angel message from them, answering a question or just giving you some direction. So thank you all for being here. So much love to you. If you got benefit from this, then share it. Tell somebody about it and send them the link and let them see what they feel about it and how they respond to it. So much love to all of you. Blue, thank you again for being here with me on the Zoom. I love you, my dear friend.
Angels. Thank you, Teri.
So for all of you out there, stay in your hearts and stay blessed. And namaste, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.